it's sort of off subject, but it's tied into this. That Virginia Beach shooting that took place about a week or two ago, I tell you, it caught my attention, and I tell you why. It happened a day after Bob Mueller had went on that stage and shamed himself, honestly, just basically made him, and I'll use President Trump's word today, President Trump said he just made him make himself look like a fool. And I would add a few vernaculars to that, but he made himself look like a fool. But it was that next moment after he did that, Barr comes out and he says, you know something? We're gonna unleash the gates of hell on the investigators. We're gonna find out where all this started, because it's important that we know why this hoax started. And it wasn't 24 hours when Bob Barr said that we had that shooting.
Right.
And I'm just curious how you feel about this. Is that Illuminati stuff? I feel like it's Illuminati. Yes, I feel like it's all part of this effort. Yep. They always do something to get our attention off of the real story and what we need to be focused on when it comes to our nation and our faith.
Well, God's been warning about the false flags here for a while now, but I mean, it's not a great secret. We've all known that. But I mean, but especially right before FISA comes out, or he drops the FISA stuff, or the OIG stuff, that all this stuff's going to come. We're going to keep your head on a swivel. You know, it's nothing to fear, but just something we need to be aware of. But, you know, people have to understand these false flags. What are they truly? Baal is a very violent entity, and it's from the bloodletting that he's empowered. So when these false flags take place, it is a sacrifice to their god called Baal. Now, they can say Moloch, whatever you want, it all falls under Baal. Wars are the same way. This is why we have wars, because it's massive bloodletting. It is empowering Baal over the globe, basically. And these guys are tapped into that. So every time they do that, it is a sacrifice. Every time they have an abortion, it's a sacrifice to their god called Baal. That is the food source for Baal, is the bloodletting, basically. And so we just have to expect this stuff right now until they get a handle on it, until they start the arrests, or this, that, and the other, or the roundup, or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, it's Illuminati, deep state driven, period. It's a spiritual component behind it. And so we just got to be careful right now.
Yeah, I say that very seriously, because there are going to be more false flags, and I'm glad you said that, because look, I looked at that Virginia Beach shooting, and immediately the first thing I thought out of my mind, we must be on the brink of something big, and don't be shocked if there's not more of that. Look, I'm just proud the president's coming back home safely from France and England. I've been praying for his safety. I think we need to pray for his safety every day, but I think we need to up those prayers a little bit right now. And it's not out of fear in the sense that we're fearing the devil, but look, folks, we live in a dangerous world. We don't live in a world that we want. We live in a world that is. And as Mark just said, look, the Illuminati and these people are real. And look, I'll just throw another caveat into what you said, Mark. It's one of the reasons why our entertainment is soaked with violence. It's why our video games, these kids that these video games, look, I've never remember, I'm trying to give my age away here, man, but the biggest thing we had, you remember those Pong sticks?
Yeah.
You had the little thing that did the button back and forth between the things, and you see that ball go back. That's the biggest video game I remember is growing up in high school, man. Now they're having issue warnings on the video games for our youngins, telling them violent content. You can't let a 14-year-old, do this. And that's where we've come in the last 30 years. But they're soaking our kids with it. They're soaking our households with it. They're soaking our music with it. Look at the rap music. Look at the lyrics of these lyrics. It's not by mistake, Mark, that they're gendering up the violence. They're gendering up the bloodletting.
Subliminal messages.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's like, again, Hollywood, even the Christian music industry is corrupt. Not saying all of it, but most of it is corrupt. I've talked to more than one producer that has left that industry because it was corrupt, because of how they treated the people. They've seen them drunk off their feet. They've seen them in adulterous situations, whatever the case may be. So, but I mean, again, it's all Illuminati driven. Look at country music right now. Country music hasn't been country music in I don't know how long. But I mean, even the videos on those now have an Illuminati tone. You're seeing the triangles all the time. Not the fluorescent lighting, that lighting that they have, that undertone of demonic activity that's going on. Then you see them flashing the devil horn sign, even on country music videos,
Right.
So I mean, it's infiltrated every aspect of our society, and the church has become part of it. They haven't tried to stop it. They've been on defense the whole time. The second the church offends someone, just like this pastor in Virginia did, they go the other direction instead of taking on the offense. See, whatever ground you just took and you bolt, you just gave it right back to the enemy sevenfold, period. So,
no, you're right, buddy. And I'm going to just say this, and I'm sure people will take a little issue with this, and that's fine. But the late David Wilkerson, I never will forget, he wrote a book. I want to say it was set the trumpet to thy mouth. And there was that, and there was another one about the church, demons in the church or something like that. But I know to set the trumpet to the mouth. One of the chapters was the devil's music. And in that chapter, he wrote this actually 10 years prior to the rise of Christian rock and Christian contemporary music. And we're not trying to attack genres here, but just hear me out and listen to what David Wilkerson said. But David Wilkerson was later on in his life, and he went to one of these Christian rock concerts. He got invited by one of his pastor buddies. He says, "Hey man, this is the latest craze. This is the new thing. They're taking this Christian rock. They're going to rock out, put Christian lyrics to it." So Dave Wilkerson went to one of these concerts, and he sat there. And during the concert, Mark, and you can find this in his book, he said that during the concert, because you mentioned the smoke and the subliminal stuff and all the attributes of the world, neolights and all that. Yep. He said while he was watching the stage, he said all of a sudden the Lord put him in the spirit, and he saw an image come from up the stage. He could only see it himself. And he said it looked like a figure of Satan. He said it looked like a satanic figure. That satanic figure was laughing at David Wilkerson and mocking David Wilkerson and said, "Nobody is going to believe you when you tell them this is all evil and they're worshiping me."
Yep.
He told David Wilkerson that right there in that concert. He said, "They're going to persecute you. They're not going to persecute these people that are worshiping the devil. They're going to persecute you." And that's what happened, because he got labeled a fanatic, got labeled a fuddy-duddy. This old codger don't know what he's talking about. This is the latest craze. We're reaching our young people with it. All it did, Mark, was promote the same kind of violence and the same kind of stuff the world did. We just put lyrics in it that sounded Christian and sounded godly. That's what we call demonic deception, brother. That's what we call deception and discernment. And again, I'm not attacking a genre. It's not about the genre. It's about the spirit behind the genre.
What frequency are they in? What frequency was that movie in? That music was in? They could have been tuned to 440, and that was what was ushering in. And that's what people don't understand with this so-called worship music. If you're in the wrong frequency, you're ushering in the dark side. You're setting up the platform, the physical platform and the spiritual platform, just like Hitler did. He blasted those frequencies out across the people. They're doing it in the church. They're getting you set up to receive from the platform of what the pastor's fixing to speak. So now he comes out and he's doing his so-called, like we've talked about, mind control message of giving, and it'll be pressed down, shaken together, given to what I mean? This whole thing. And then people, oh my gosh, I got to give. You know what I mean? And it's, the whole time it's for the pastor. It's you're not going to get anything in return because you're sowing into a Baal system. You're sowing into the system, but they're setting up the stage. That's what they're doing for the dark side. And so again, it's Satan's frequency. Yeah. And that's why that being was laughing at him.